Hi there. My name is Lloyd Bridges, and I'm one of the 100 million people who drive in this country. You know, some people drive for pleasure, others do it because they have to. I must admit that I do it mainly for pleasure. Among those 100 million, there are those special people, the ones who drive for their own very special reasons. And being an enthusiast, I've seen and been a part of this very fascinating driving scene. I've never stopped being amazed by it all. In fact, there's no end to the novelty of the automobile, the shapes and sizes, the incredible things that people do with it. It's plenty exciting. Come along with me. Let me show you this world, huh? The special cars, the special people who live in this wonderful world of wheels. Come on.
Why do we call it our world of wheels? Well, last year we registered 82 million vehicles, not counting racing cars. These electrically operated cars actually hit on a computed scale speeds up to 400 miles per hour. There are thousands of these tracks in operation throughout the world, and some of the biggest fans are professional race drivers. For example, here's Ken Miles, champion sports car driver, and his son Peter. Each driver handles his car with a thumb-operated control. He determines the forward speed and also the braking of the car. To properly handle these mighty mites, a driver must develop considerable skill. The competitive spirit is as strong in slot racing as it is among the big car drivers. As a result, there are the same thrills and spills.
And now, on with the show.
G'day, and welcome to Diecast Labs. Today, I hope to do some justice to today's casting, which is a Zylmex Brute. It's made in Hong Kong. As you can see, it's a knockoff to the Hot Wheels silhouette. As you watch the casting go around the turntable, I'd like to thank the returning friends of the channel. If you're a first-time viewer, I hope you stay and share what sometimes a bumbling old fart like me gets up to, trying to give old die-cast toys a new life. This channel is geared to the hobbyist. So what I do is not always perfect, but at least I'm giving it a go. So sit back and relax as you watch today's episode. You never know, you might have a laugh or two, or you might be inspired with what I try and do. So let's get on with the show. Okay, let's have a closer look at today's casting. The Zylmex Brute, the K706 in Hong Kong. It doesn't say what scale it is, but it's most likely a 124 or a 125 scale. Paintwork is chipped. The window unit is in actually quite good condition. A bit scuffed, but it's in good condition. It has 4 wheels. The front wheel there is here it's a how's your father. So we're replacing those. It has side pipes, at least on this side. The engine is missing its blower. And the wheels on this side are okay, and it does have its side pipes on there. So, besides having a wonky wheel, and the top of the engine, it is complete. So that's good. It has 2 posts, one in the back, one in the front. So I'll be using my burr tool to open up the casting. So we'll be back shortly. Well, we're going to be doing a fair amount of 3D printing for this Zylmex Brute, or Silhouette if you like. This is the vehicle that you saw on the turntable. There we go. It is a Brute. It's very large. Okay, so we're going to be using both 3D printers today. Or in this episode, we're using a resin printer and a filament printer. My resin printer is an Anycubic Photo Mono 2, and my filament printer is a Creality or Ender-free V-free SE. So we need to get our files, but before we do that we need to open the slicer. So we're doing the engine and the hubs or rims if you like, depending on where you are in the world. We're going to be doing that in Chichi box. So we'll do the engine first. The engine that I've got here is a 110 scale, so we need to scale it down for our Brute. I'll scale it down to 50%. That's our engine. It's all nice and green down the bottom, but we will need supports. So we'll go over to the right hand side here, click on supports. We'll keep it middle strength and we'll auto generate. What we might do is I'll bring it down and just curl it up a little bit. We're going to click on the plus and just on there, there, and we'll put one in the middle. To give us our supports. Send it back home. It's telling us that it's for the Photo Mono 2 resin. So we'll slice it. I'll change this to 26.5 seconds. We'll go for island detection. I'm doing this in real time, not in time lapse, this part of it. It has found, it says a 0 of 11, so we'll go up to 11. Now what we're concentrating on is we're looking for this colour in this section here. It's telling us that it's detecting nothing, that the supports aren't touching anything, that's all. But they'll be fine to print. So we'll go down to scale. Everything is all white. One. So this is all white, that is good. So we'll bring that back up to full length. We'll go save. Choose that one. Save it. Say yes. The reason why I'm doing the copy again is because this is take 2. So I stuffed up earlier. So that's fine. We go over here, we can delete that from this screen because we've just saved it. We're now going over to our rims and tyres. We're going for a sports rim. Now I've already taken some measurements of the original tyres that were on the Zylmex, on the Brute. So we need to rescale this. And we're rescaling them to 18mm. We're going to take off the lock ratio because our height, which is our Z, is this one here that I'm highlighting. We're changing that to 9. See how it just narrow it down? So what we can do now is we go over. See, I could leave that as it is. See how it's all green? Because that's all touching the plate. That's all touching the plate. Just to be on the safe side, I'm going over to supports, auto support, all of that. Happy with the number of supports there. So now we need some more. We're doing 3 for the moment. That gives us our 4 times. Just in case we have a failure, we select it all. We're going to print another 4. Select it all. We slice. And again we do a detection. Obviously we're doing this in real time, this part of it. I haven't tried time lapse yet. It has shown us no islands. What I'm going to try and do now is show you how it works on a resin printer. Now a resin printer prints from the top down. So it prints from the top down. This is what's called a raft, which I've told it to do. And as it prints, it comes down. These are all the supports. There's the hub itself. That's starting to come. And that is the finished product. So when it comes off this is what's called the build plate. This part here, off the build plate, that is what it will look like. So I'll send that home. We can close this slicing program and we'll open up the Creality print, because now we need to make the rubber tyres, and this is where I use what's called TPE filament, and the brand that I'm using is Blue EMDA, that's fine. Quality, speed, support, don't need support. We build plate adhesion on what's called the brim, so that's fine, but we still need to rescale the tyre because that's got to go on the outside of our rim, and we're changing that to 25. Whoops, let's go up here, 25mm. We'll take the uniform off, just gives a warning, click on OK, and we're changing that to 9. Do that. So now we clone, just like we did with the rims or hubs, if you like. We need it firstly free. Select all or Control A. And clone the model. We only need one. We now slice the program, or slice the tyres. Not in real life, otherwise they go flat. But it's part of the slicing program. It gives it layer upon layer upon layer. And where before the resin printer builds from the top down, the filament printer prints from the bottom up. So we're going to each layer, and just like that, it builds it up. Okay, so you can have a look that way, and it builds it up. So we can save it. Like I said, I stuffed up earlier. Here are our 3 files. That's the engine, that's the rims or hubs if you like, and there's our tyre itself. So that's fine. We can close that one. We exit. We can close this, and I just need to bring over my thumb drive for the resin printer, the SD card for the filament printer, and we're good to go. So we shall see you shortly. Well, I think I got the hardest part finished first, and that was the 3D printing. And so we've had success in that. Here are the new hubs, which are different to what we have here. Here is our TPE tyre, which fits nicely over the hub. Now, as you can see, nice tread for a filament. Get that sitting in. So we're about the right width. We're the same diameter. It should be, because I measured the tyre. The only thing I've got to do is make the hole in the centre of the hub a little bit bigger, or I'll change axle. Stand by while I try and find out what that noise was. Well, I've decided that I am going to, sorry about that, to change the axle, because the axle on the original axle is far too big for for that tiny hole. So what I'm going to use for axles, aluminium rivets. And all I've done is knock off the head off the shaft. And then what I've done is pushed through the shaft of the rivet through the centre of the new hub. It's not glued into place, it will spin. I'm using the head as a spacer, so that the wheel can freely turn. And then I'm using the shaft of a cotton swab, because that fits in nicely in there. So that's best thing to show is just to show you what I've done. Take that other axle out. We put this one in its place. Find the corresponding hole on the other side. We shall put, oops, missed the hole. There we go, put that in place. Maybe just just a small dab of glue maybe. Or we can flatten out the end. But the idea is, goes in there, and we have a roller. Not that that thing's going to be rolling anywhere soon, but that's the idea of replacing the wheel. I will do the same thing on the rear. So that is our plan of attack. So I'll get myself organised here again. So I don't lose the items. Stick back on. I'll set that to one side. We'll leave the original wheel and axle out, might as well, because it's only going to come apart anyway. So I will be painting these hubs or rims. I will be painting them either chrome or body colour. Have not decided that as yet. We shall try that later on. So there's that. Get that tyre and hub together, so it's in one place. Thank you. We'll put these, what we're going to call now axles, also in a safe place. So now let's have a look at our engine. Now, I can do I'll be doing one of two things. Because what this one is missing is this blower part. So I could theoretically just cut across there and glue that on there. But maybe better if I hold it there. That engine is a very close match to what's there originally. So what we may do is, when we pull this out, is cut along or flatten all of that out, and we glue that on top after we paint it. So that is further down the track. So the next segment is actually pulling this one apart. So see you in the mechanic workshop. We interrupt this episode for a moment just to remind you, don't forget to vote for which vehicle that you'd like to see me do something on in February. So far the candidates are the Spot On Morris 1100, the Corgi Toys Sports Prince, the Mirror Citroen CX 2400, and a Russian vehicle. I don't know, a Muscovich I believe it is, but in any case, at time of this recording, the Morris 1100 has 2 votes, the Sports Prince has 1 vote, the Citroen CX has 1 vote. So get your votes in. The voting closes at the end of January, so to give me some time to do the build of the winning vehicle. So get your votes in the comments down below, or in the tribute to Corgi Bob's video, in the place your votes video. So I'll be checking all those videos to see where you put your votes. If you want to vote for more than one, that's fine too. So if you voted for the Morris 1100 but changed your mind, you'll like to see the Russian Muscovich, that's fine. The votes will count. Anyway, let's get back to the episode. Okay, the interlude is over. Prior to the interlude, I did use the burr tool to take off the post heads of the vehicle, and I've lost the footage for that. But the good news is for you, you don't have to put earmuffs on unless you don't want to hear my voice. In any case, we've done this assembly is now, and it was a brute to pull apart. Now, this does have a lip all the way around the casting that also holds it in place besides the two posts. But we got around it in that we can now lift our base off. I have taken the heads off the plastic posts for our side pipes. Now, there is no suspension. This is our axle holder. That's one. The other one is here, that's come out with the rear wheels. We'll put our axle holders there. Now I've taken the burr tool again. I've taken off the posts for the interior, for the engine, and for the silvery bits which are on the, or these things here. So we can take these out. Take note that the short end goes towards the engine part. Only taken just enough of the heads off so we can put it back together again. Now, engine is held in by two posts. Like so. And I've shown you that we're replacing it in this engine. Let's see if I can get you out of the shadow. Here is our replacement one. And as you can see, that I think she'll line up very nicely. So, put that aside, put the other engine aside. So we've taken everything off the base plate. At there they say, you've been doing the engine, now comes the interior. Again, just taking the heads off. It's nice and solid. Doesn't it? Needs a little bit of a clean. And our window unit, which should come out rather nicely. And that is the casting. So, next is stripping time. So, we'll see you at the stripper venue. So, here is our Zylmex Brute, disassembled, ready for our next step. As soon as I tidy up a few things as we get here. So, we are going to, no, that's not our tub that I want. We'll get to that. Okay, so wash machine, wash machine, wash machine, wash machine. That going wash machine. wash machine. These are going in the wash machine. These, well, that one's destroyed. That one is destroyed, so we'll chuck those. We'll take the axles off, keep the axles for something else, and maybe keep this set. So we'll put them aside, and these are going to the stripper venue. So we'll either see you at the stripper venue, or we're going to see you at the wash venue. See you soon. So we're at our stripper venue, and we're going to use our how much caustic soda I put in is roughly about, I'll find the marking on this thing. Anyway, 2 of these cups. That's all you need. Don't need a great deal of it. Just going to close up the lid. There we go, that's the lid closed. That's back in its spot. Now we're going to get our boiling water. Now, by doing it this way, putting the caustic soda in first, then the hot water, you have more control of your explosion, if you like. Just going to get the top covered. Because as you can see here, this is what can happen if you dump your caustic soda into the water. Ask me how I know. So we can add a little bit more just to get rid of the, so it covers the casting. There we go. So we're going to let that do its brewing. You can see that it's lifting down here and down the back here. It's going to do its swishy swish. So we can even see. It does a good job at it. So next time you'll see the casting, it will be naked. So we'll let the strippers do their job, And now that we've sort of dirtied ourselves a little bit, we should go for a little wash to clean ourselves up. See you in a moment. So off camera, we have cleaned up the interior, the other chrome plastic bits and pieces, the side pipes, and we've started working on the screen. We have one more step to do on the screen, and then that will be ready. So we'll now come back to our casting, and we're going to use the brass bristle brush. All I do is do that over the casting as we're going from dull to shiny. Once I've done that, I go with the, did I not bring it out? No, I didn't. With the scourer, with one of those, which you can pick up from any supermarket in the cleaning aisle. And that takes off the rest of the makes it all nice and shiny, as you can see here. Others will use a power tool, but a little bit of elbow grease that doesn't hurt. I'll finish this off along with this off camera, and we'll see you then at the next segment. Alright, so we've become naked. So now it's time to put some clothes on. Well, put a covering on. So it's very nice and shiny. So I'm going to put some colour onto this, and we shall bring you back soon. This is just a reminder as to what I started with at the beginning of today's episode. And here we are. Now, here we are with our Zylmex Brute, or commonly known as a silhouette. So what have we done with it? We've stripped it, repainted it with a metal cast purple. We've 3D printed new wheels for it. We've 3D printed a replacement engine for it. We've done some detailing with the lights down the front, the tail lights and indicators at the rear. As I said, we painted it with the metal cast purple, and we've also left some of the casting in clear. Or we didn't paint some of the casting. That's the, so to give us a two-tone effect on the front bonnet and the rear boot. I hope you liked the video. So give it a thumbs up, give it a like, share it, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It'll help the channel. So, hope to catch you next time at Diecast Labs. Bye for now.